warriors, what I've been ever since I was born. At the commencement, I adorn squash, beans, and corn. Lots of strings and horns over the beat, swing of a horn. Outdrum the outcome, the child of Atlas is back in action. Fact, not fashion. Most y'all internet has-beens, more like commercials with whack acting. From commercial to action, I'm laughing back up to laughing. I spit man, God, civilization, John G. Jackson, like a Gatlin, the last dragon. Cosmic memory of an Atlantean. E3 technology is who I am in skin. Walking the landmass is Atlas. Some say I'm batshit crazy, but that's the masses for you. Can you blame the people? Most been trained to be feeble, tame sheeple by the evil who means to keep you cashless in the fastest society, where the vax and the mass are the blame for the dying street. You the root race, they medieval. Eat the cheap food they feed you or read through these fools. Restorer or rebel, can't play God unless acquainted with the devil. Polarity you choose, acquainted with its level. Frequency, distance is an illusion, so please unveil the confusion. Look beyond the shadow of the late hollow years, see the far and distant lands where tomorrow appears. Put it in perspective, decision of each being the latest, most accurate vision of peace, where each one teach one to reach one, freeze one from under the trees and stump of the impeached one. Remember, all skin folk are not kinfolk. While I hold a sword in my left hand, I write a pen to pen quotes. Word to see Lord L. I'ma be more hell to these foreigners till they leave our air, land, and seashore and sell their asses right back across that agua. Screw y'all's dishonorable dogma. Something proper with no lube. The past 25 years I've been the son of solitude. The oil that fuse my chakras is cruel. Love my people towards the evils. I'm heartless and rude. Firstborn of Inkle, the dawn of the twinkle. Twinkle little sun, I got bright and I could think too. I blink through a wrinkle in time. Rip Van Winkle and rhyme. And my shit stink too, to link you to source shit. You rather have AI sink you. I not only know the ledge, I'm on the brink too. They wanna extinct you, your essence is viable. Crimes against humanity, your oppressors liable. They try to write on my recital, yet my presence vital as the session's title. Welcome to the seventh cycle. The heart of man is as the sun, the reception order for the divine ray of spiritual intuition descended unto man. The brain of man is as the moon, the source of human intellect. The body of man is the earthly vehicle. Let the sun impregnate the moon, or let the spiritual fire prompt the human intellect. And let the result fructify in the womb of a purified body. And you will develop the son of the sun, the quintessence, the stone of the wise, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. I teach you up. The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This the call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling immense pressure. Some store each clan better. Planting the devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. From Castilians to conquistadors, Iberians and traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traders, missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. No mutual goal to coexist. Those warships in our tributaries. Military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. Why expect more from those who want to conquest except war? They didn't bring women during the invasions. The minds were on rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation, which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Washington, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcy and Brooklyn, projects and hoods where we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Hardly cushion. It's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Gives I shot this sheriff meaning. Shut my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flair, no look. This beef is rare, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring heat, this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this cannibal. If your brain's deeply manacled, release or get treated damnable. You speak Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting the line, now the chief's back with bulk. That's big muscle drip up to tussle with Uncle Sam, big brother and his clique. I put that on Abraham and Esther. It's a must, we band together. Plant in the devil to stand the weather. Sun on storm, each clan better. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Turn our signs to hand hand gestures. Rid the land of damn settlers. This is a call to my ancestors. Based on real life, it's nothing like the old school. High vibrations is what it feels like. It's nothing like the old school. This goes way back, before I was knee deep out in them streets, ganging it. Like the prison and that old crazy mess. This is what really makes me me, y'all, at its core. So check it out. I arrived in 1970, August 14th, to be precise. Eldest son, firstborn of 5, alive as the Christ. Had sunny days, just like I had spooky nights, which accounts for my old lows and my newly heights. Childhood, not of the norm. Excellence, how I perform. Deep down, I was mad, that's why now I bring the storm. Memorize Psalms and other passages of scriptures after learning the Quran to fend off the jinns' whispers. It was like my mother and father tried to hide us for the Pontius Pilates, Kiheras, and other outsiders. No celebrating holidays, kept away from ungodly ways of playing games, calling names the cost of what folly pays. I'm saying you wouldn't believe such discipline, wishing to make friends with the neighborhood children. But it was like wish again from early on. Was taught I was different, not better, just gifted. There's a big difference. Had telescopes, microscopes, chemistry sets, books, maps, paints, carpentry tools, wrote poems not yet known as raps. Learned alphabets and mathematics from my mama. Learned meditation and martial arts from my father. Watched my uncles create music, so I beat drums, played keyboards with my dad, the guitar he strummed. Didn't consume pork nor beef. I would eat plums, not knowing this was part of who I would become. True story. This is based on real life. It's before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of light. High vibrations, it's what it feels like. True story. This is based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations, now around. It feels like 1982 was no longer separated from the outside world off the porch. Yeah, I made it. First noticed her standing in my b-boy stash. Left at the chance and began to break dance on wooden floors. I got sore from the workout. It was me, Chili T, my man Shabazz, Muhammad, and Phil G. When I met her on 93rd, next Jeffrey Manor, master of all crews, was written on my banner. The manner of my approach. Yo, I rocked her. World with backspins, atomic flares, and helicopters, hella proper. Guys that were awesome, tried to get fresh. Up at Basma and on commercial, attempted to test a bus moves on linoleum. Loved her on cardboard, roughed it off on concrete with combinations I had stored. Poured my heart into her around the time I met Dula, Yusef, Rashi, Stony Island Park, CVS, Schooler, Battleground, found passion. Another element turned my heart into graffiti, evidence of being present. Taggers united together, network of writers who most times put all-nighters. True riders, 1987, we were kings of the line. Won the epic war with Sass on the damn rhyme. My guys, Dickie, Tron, advanced planes out and vanish. I do this for you and the true TUG. Clint is the band. This is true story. It's based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of light. High vibrations, that's what it feels like. True story, based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations is what it feels like. Let's clear this up. I am the great matriarchs, give to America, rare, uncut, sun complected, yet they ain't wretched of the earth. Though my old blood's majestic, something shut the most rejected. Nevertheless, check the record of my birth. Never read a book for knowledge of myself. The silence I felt, not from waters of wealth, but from rawness of my breath. I received meditatively. My mother and father educated me. I often think creatively. I've walked through a few schools of thought that truth is hard. It has no cause, yet the cause of everything. Falsehood is not, yet the manifest of right. Once in darkness comes to light. These words Timothy didn't write. They didn't quite shit well. Better gang of y'all when it comes to fiction, y'all. Truth is stranger, y'all. I came to y'all to bring the fault of a government that's been de facto and the enemy of so-called black folks. I make sure being realistic and admit how's it we've allowed this shit from go defiant out. Cryptic, y'all complicit in spirit with the metaphors, metaphysics also makes me America's curse. I'm not in competition with men or women. I'm defending my household from those who are pretending garbed and skinned the same as us, taking up the same name as us, who attempt to claim the same reign as us. Y'all be satisfied with societies like Westworld, or Bernard's really Arnold. Dolores is your best girl, universal soldier. Our robot is now the task force. The vast passport is on its own crash course. With or without y'all, I'ma own my road and bring fire upon them. That's on my soul. Y'all waiting for the Galactic Federation to come save y'all. Another United Nations sign up to further enslave y'all.
This primordial lamb, Montayama, she has some younger children in a nutshell. One by Mardu, which is known as Mardu in one mythology, which is known as Amun Ra in another mythology, which is known as Yahweh in another mythology, which is known as Zeus in another mythology. She had these younger gods, in which one with her and one of her consorts called Kingu, which was one of her earlier sons and her consorts. She went to war with them, and they went to war with Tiamat, and these primordial gods, this primordial god was defeated by her son, Mardu, Zeus, Amun Ra, or Yahweh, or any of the male deities. So that male deity destroyed the mother principle.
Watch time and space rock the great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, ways the heart as I sun ray my art permeate the patriarch. Most social media saviors I face, marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, ways the heart as I sun ray my art permeate the patriarch. Most social media saviors I face, marks once we make knowledge one is when the rhyme and bass rock. I rose up, took a shower, purified my auric field, took copper for a wall to ensure my chlorophyll is pumping. Done some curls for sure, I forged a build, solid foundation, my crown, chakra, core and hill, pound the pavement, sacred ground, freedom I stand for, free all political prisoners of war, man or woman and child, rid the land of all foreign and alien entities. I decree this morning, send them back to whence they came. Is the peace laugh or war cry, whatever the relevant name of each man.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all, that's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who can have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3-pound pressure, no weight blesser, drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight blesser, drop the oppressor.
I'm Baby Girl Slaughter. What's up, mama? Delusions of Manny, Herbo, Marcus Williams. Delusions, I got you. Tariq. Yo, what's going on, beloveds? I gotta shout y'all out, you know what I mean? A few more minutes.
You rap that a cloak up plane, my God, it's overdoing your time, it's in the end. Lock Josh silent without sin. He put me on the better because it's the wind. And the person's about to get rolled out. With some presses attached in the war. concerned the Arizona. I'm a mess
Crazy.
with like Farrakhan. Backed by the honorable, who sits at the pinnacle, who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the plentiful simple. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Hold the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand or kneels too late when the caps get pissed. Don't believe in GC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone when it got the dome. When it's on the zone, all red of my vision through sight.
Right at my face.
Whenever I write from above, I've been given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the mountain life. We gon' murder them all, so gon' pass the kite.
3-pound
Pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor. Me no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor. Me no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor. Me no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor. Me no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, if you taught that from school, everywhere, big business. You want to be successful, you want to be like Trump. Gimme, push, step, crush. That's how it all is, and it's like nobody ever stopped.
What's going on, everybody? So I took about a day and a half, a little more, I guess you could say. Uploading some videos. I didn't upload all the videos. I need to, so that way I can go ahead and make room. We're gonna read a little bit, but first I want to address some things, right? It's good to see y'all here. So we was right at 1,000. We were right at 1,850. So right now it's 1,846. So my thing is, when a certain group wants to act upon something, or you address certain individuals, or some people realize, okay, wow, going live, and they're stuck in the stubbornness, well, they're going to deviate, which is a beautiful thing. We get rid of the empty, how you say it? We empty the ship out. We get rid of the worthless cargo. I'm not saying they're worthless. I'm just saying, as far as where we're at, I'm not saying we're part of the woke movement. We're beyond that. That's some nonsense the CIA created. Today, you know, it's funny when you're a veteran and other people are, and you know things, and certain people are circumvented, because not everybody is your friend. Not everybody is your ally. Not everybody can you trust. You must always look in self. It's like I drink these teas and I read all the little things on them from Yogi, right? Like this one says, serve all. It says, serve all in truth, in compassion, and in grace. That is the epitome of love, in passion, in grace, right? In truth. That is what love is. Doesn't mean that my lie has to be a truth. There's no way for a lie to be a truth, but it could be your truth if you're willing to tell lies all the time. Another one here on as far as the lavender and honey, breathe in peace and breathe out blessings to all. Not blessings, blessings. Blessing is like a good bruise. You know what I'm saying? It's not a painful one. It's one that lasts, like a tattoo without foreign ink or something in the body. A peaceful mind is a strong mind. Be kind to yourself. Kind is this. What is the word? Is the etymology? Etymology of the word kind. A lot of people have a very hard time with instruction. We're talking about self-instruction. We're always admonishing or admitting or condemning ourselves. But we never take the time to actually be kind to ourselves. And when we do, it's material. It's still outside of ourselves. When we take a bath, we do it because we're stinky, or we had a long day and we're sweaty or clammy. We're uncomfortable, right? It's not the way our ancestors did it. Yet today, it is the way we do it. And that's internal. Why? Because you can close your eyes and find a deep breath and a calming, regardless of what's wrong with the water and everything else. Okay? We look upon each other with eyes that cannot see. Excuse me, you know, I had the rubber band, so I'm gonna be stroking my beard, people. Somebody want to come stroke it for me. And let me see, here we go. And how often in a day do we take the time to be gratuitous and truly appreciative of who we are, even in the worst of the environments that we are in? How many of us allow ourselves to, instead of being resentful, which is so a commodity, it's easy, to be appreciative? I mean, deeply appreciative without going overboard or being overbearing, to be subjugated to self. Literally, the word peace is derived from the original Latin word pax, which means a pact, a control, or an agreement to end war. A pact, an agreement to agree with yourself. Okay? And most people choose not to. Okay? I actually have the notes, but I'm going to read something else when I go down. I don't feel like fishing. In translation of the Bible in the Bible into Old English during the process of Christianization, to translate the Latin term benedicio, meaning to speak well of, when we think blessings. According to the Oxford Dictionary of English Etymology, blessed takes on the meaning of happiness and well-being, which was first documented, which we know is alive. Now, the English blessings from Old English, blessung, divine grace, protecting influence of a deity, saint, state of spiritual well-being or joy. We know it's far from it, but they acclimate it because it always goes back to Greek or Latin. And when we look at the origins, it's always talking about English blessings from Old English blesson, equivalent to bless plus ing. We know this to be a lie. They're going to consecrate. Okay? That's to consecrate. Okay? That's what it is. Germanic language, it can be shown to derive from the Germanic noun bloden, blood. Blisten, therefore, originally meant to consecrate. Blessing is not a good thing. It's like a blood oath, per se. Why am I saying this? Because every time we speak, though we, and I've said this before, we understand it on a level different from the spell that we're casting. You see what I'm saying? I mean, tell lie vision. And it's exactly what it is, to tell a lie to your vision. And then we change the channels to channel. And then what comes from that? Information. You have drama, science, sci-fi, everything scripted out. What does it derive from? Well, that's deeper. But the problem is, it's conditioning. It conditions. We look at everything going on and we see it for what it is. So I'm going to go over here and go through a couple of my notes. Somebody knows, there are those of you who've been following the channel for a while or subscribed to it. And remember, I was talking notes and I was going to keep doing it for every day. And I said, let me stop, because it could drive a person. And I don't want to have a person be an increment to lunacy. All right. So let's look at, as far as today, the things they have that's supposed to show you grace, to give you a blood pact, an oath to pour energy in to make it even worse. Doesn't matter about the people. I wore costumes too. But we look at New York City National Guard deployment in the subway, the police checking everybody's bags and stuff. These liberal cities allow all these migrants in, and they want to give them cash, but they want to mess with the autochthonous and everybody in relationship. But look at the people doing it. Wouldn't you say, aren't they Americans? It's like these Bolsheviks, these fake, these Chazars. I call them Guzars. I call them for what they are. And they're worse than that, because they're not even the body of man or woman anymore. You don't have to. I don't want you to believe me. I don't want to create some phenomenon outside of itself. I don't care if they are pushing so we can give them energy to further give them strength for what they truly are. You need to not see them as you perceive them. Ergo, the thumbnail. CIA has bases in just about every country. And in every country, they've overthrown governments, even democratically elected officials, utilizing the ignorance of the people. You see that as of today. But where do you see these so-called politicians? They're not who you think they are. I don't care what they are. I'm not here. But the thing is, you're going to give them energy. You would think I am now. I'm pulling a blank. I am only reading what's already been stated and expressed over and over for the decades, if not centuries. All the immigrants are seen in every state, yet the Chinese are nowhere to be found. Except for they're driving expensive cars, wearing suits, and well in shape by themselves. But you don't see the great Americans with a gun behind every blade doing a goddamn thing about it, except for Connecticut. They said enough. They armed up the police, and they are out there patrolling those streets. And what are they going to get? They're going to get nothing. They're not going to fuck with them because they're ready to act upon it. See, a lot of you claim Constitution, but a lot of y'all are divided. I'm going to vote for Trump. I'm not saying one or less about it. I'm not telling you what to do. It's not my place. Everybody has a choice. You have all these individuals giving all this information. And though they're doing it, some of them have been doing it for a long time. So you can't sit there and say this one's a distraction because he has went through hell and high water. And y'all know Orlando Brown. Ye has been saying it for a number of years now. I guess y'all haven't kept count. Even to the point where they took him to discipline him. And they put that big monkey with a mask on. And they did it purposely because they need you distracted to talk about it. I don't ever want to see any of y'all talking about the other person that played Kanye standing damn near 6 foot something. All right? I don't never want to hear it. There is a reason. Dola Cat, all those people still looking at the NFL halftime. New age, well-indoctrinated ex-soldiers believe that they are invincible, well-trained for certain narratives, of course, not things that can't be predicted. Bloodlust is real. It is not the solution nor responsible guess. See, regardless of what they're trained for and how well and what they may be or what's going on, there's a lot of good guys out there. But they tend to get a little sloppy and get a little too caught up because if you think that you're the only one with egos and a narcissistic mind, those things are even worse. They're stronger and they're smarter. As far as the narrative of who you are and the information you are not proxy to. You don't delve and you don't worry. Today I was at the gun range. I was looking at a .357 Magnum for about $500. All black. And I was like, should I get it? I said, I'll be back Friday. He has a few of them. And I'll make a determination then. And all of a sudden, here comes this good in shape individual none of us ever seen. And he goes right over it, looks at the Glock 17, military build, everything. I can smell them. Do you know what it's like to be able to smell? I can't describe the smell. It's not like a musty or a mustard or a ketchup or a chocolate or it's a smell that's like it's like a sound. It's like a ring. It's something I can't explain it. I can smell. Yeah, I can smell them. And I see a couple of guys going, yo, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because right off the bat, everybody knew. But me, I could literally smell the individual. Like, are you that stupid? War against all doctrinists is everywhere. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Papua New Guinea, Australia, Haiti. And they're using Negroes on very melanated people to do it. You're not hearing about other places. They think it's a playing field. Why? In order to establish a new order. And it will never be a new world order. It's just no way. I wouldn't give a damn if they did it 1,000 times already. What they're not paying attention to, that if we go, the land dies. It's everywhere. It's written, and it doesn't matter how alive they think they are. Certain of the things were meant to be where they're at. There's a place for everything. But to keep returning, there is a shift and an awakening. Destruction is imminent. But what they don't get is, if we were all to leave and return to the source, they can't save us and put us in bags and Ziplocs and blood fusion machines. And, you know, when you think about a kidney dialysis machine, that was a heart pumping machine. Are y'all aware of that? You know who invented it? Okay, let me leave it there. Anyway, they have overstepped their myriad of irresponsibility as our ancestors who got into deep, dark occult or magic or whatever you want to call it. And the falling away, the grace. Ergo, we are the fallen angelic one, sentient. I am not giving up no secrets. I am not saying anything that has not been said by a few, maybe. What I'm expressing is, you have no inner peace. You choose to be a derelict of own conscience. You choose the etymology of the false narrative they have painted and gave. Yet you have choices. Now, when I said about the Chinese, I'm not pointing at everything and everyone. What I am stating is the reality of what they've been telling you for the last 25 years. And yet nobody was able to put it together, because you have Peckerwoods running around stupid, certain people in costume wanting to murder some of our people, believing they're getting a pass to live forever, to belong to a secret society of stupids. And their conviction is foolishly endowering. Yet they will have been destroyed, or have been destroyed themselves in ignorance. I guess they don't really go out and research everything to know everything. And when those that do, well, they take them out of the equation. Everyone has a choice. Everyone. You have those that put on these full body costumes, and they get on these little hoverboards that can poof off the ground, and it's called gyro energy, and they can lift up into these crafts that haul butt. They go out and do all kind of experiments and things. There are them, and then there are people who are a lot better off than you, possibly. I'm not saying give it energy. I'm not saying go and research the crap. I'm just pointing out something, because if you think that what they have today is the most powerful aircraft and stuff, you are truly a product of your father, the beast. There are plenty of things out there, and some of the things you would not want to know about. If you think that the submarines that have been floating in the ocean up to the so-called newest ones is the only thing, they're making war on everything of this earth, and most things you're not privy to know about. How many of y'all are deep sea divers and built subs and go down 30 fathoms? And, you know, how many of y'all are out in the Antarctic where things are going on? How many of y'all know that? No, y'all want to argue with bots and people who probably do some terrible things, talking about the earth is flat and round. Like, who cares what somebody else think when you start walking in the truth and you see it? Why would you sit there attempting to prove something to someone or something? Why would you give that much? That is not being kind to yourself. Nor, I'm just giving these because everything works for a reason. Breathe in peace, breathe out a blessing to all. So What is the conviction of argument? See, only a fool will argue and take a rock to a gunfight. When how about not going to the gunfight at all and knowing what love is? And if they come upon you, your place is not indicative to what they've culminated themselves to. Y'all know nothing about the fact of their destruction. And I'm using that word because you understand it as being total obliteration or something. I am expressing something that for you not to steep yourself in. They're going to eradicate themselves. It doesn't matter when or how. And when I say regardless of who's been allowed to change, to occupy a body, or to go into life with a new identity, because not everybody is dead. It is not for us to prove it or worry about it either. That's where they get your energy from. They get your energy because they have laid a table and they put all the cutlery and the bowls and the plates, and now they have served the dish and you continue to eat of it. It is not nourishing. Exposing the Expositions, 1851 to 1915. This is the revised edition by Howdy Mikowski of his 2019. Andy Rilla, what's going on, beloved? George Wisher III. Hey, what's going on, beloved? What's happening? As y'all know, Rondo had a very good one out. I'm surprised that y'all didn't go over and check it out and share it. And Kiramio had a wonderful one out. There's a few others. I hope that y'all appreciate the information. Somebody made a donation, but like I said, y'all make a donation, I'll check it Friday. And whatever we get, I'll go ahead and order the books right then and there. Okay? I was going to order a couple of books last night. I was like, maybe let me see. I know they probably doing it. I was like, man, that ain't good. Maybe a couple of books for like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm not putting nothing with that. Anywho, but I ordered a book myself. So let's go ahead and get into this. As y'all know, this is the Court of Honors in Chilagua. Okay. Very short read. Okay. Appreciate y'all. Last when we left off, even to have the complete transcript to her talk would be a gift to the world right now. We were expressing ourselves talking about Mary C. Collins, called Winona by the Sioux Indians. She lived for many years with Sitting Bull on the prairie. Remember, you can look the individual up. Anyway, add who the expose inspired. Add addition. Who the expose inspired. One of the reasons I wanted to revise this book was to present some of the very unique research that has come up since the original book was written. More a presentation on how the Chicago Fair specifically seems to influence some of the most important cultural and psychological elements of the whole 20th century. We know it not to be at that time the 20th, but this is where it is. It will end with a more in-depth look at how ancient Egypt was presented at the fair and show as another example. Now, in the parentheses, it states that I will get into more when discussing the St. Louis Fair. End of parentheses. That these expos were, in fact, designed to create the new historical narrative. We already know about the George Orwellian factor, right? We know they've lied about everything. The 1893, or I would say 893 exposition directly influences L. Frank Baum, the writer of the Wizard of Oz series. Books that many believe might present insights from several areas, both positive and negative, about the nature of this reality, in parentheses. And that was because they would soon be enslaving everybody with birth certificates, taking the gold to the trust of the people surviving, especially those over this land, to steal it away, as they always have, these fake Jews. Okay? There are claims that the White City was explicit inspiration for his Emerald City of Oz, where people entering were set up by the wizard to wear green glasses in order to make the city to appear greener than it actually was. That's in parentheses. Perhaps a reference that the White City was made to appear whiter than it really was. Another inspired by the fair was Edgar Rice Burroughs, famous fantasy author of such works as Tarzan and the Apes, and various novels of the Journey to the Center of the Earth. his personal writings detail descriptions of his times at the exposition, where he wound up working for his father, who had an exhibit at the fair. Now, there is also Elias Disney, father of Walt, who is claimed to have been a construction worker at the expo, and later went on to have his own contracting firm in Chicago. These are three key names who shaped the next 100 years with their stories. Certainly, Disney's son Walt and his parks, and connection with the formation of NASA. I told you. Was a major creator of the shaping of the minds via his retelling of old fairy tales, as well as Baum, who in a sense created the key fairy tale of the 20th century. Be reminded, the Wizard of Oz, be reminded that Baum had been a writer in Kansas before the fair, where he wrote several articles at the time of Sitting Bull's death and Wounded Knee about how it was time for the American Indian to be exterminated, the very Columbian westward progress the 1893 exposition symbolized. They were still fighting us, even though we were in control of everything. Those individuals would betray the rest. Some would say that's impossible. Well, how do you have Malcolm X, a man who stayed faithful to his wife, who slept with his wife and went home after every meeting, and then you have Martin Luther, who partied his behind off and slept with multiple women, and we all know that everybody behind him was working for the feds, as he was, until he realized, wait, something is not right here. So they took him to the hotel, and they put on the biggest act, this big charade. Did they fake kill him, or did they really get rid of him? Well, when you have an awakening, they must do something to you, subjugate you. Just like it is now believed, and I solely believe, that Hitler didn't die. He escaped, and he was in South America. And there's German towns all throughout there. As you see, they brought the majority of them here anyway, because these fake Jews were all for Germany because they wanted the same, and they wanted them to defeat Russia because Russia refused to let go and partake in their foolishness. Even after the Bolshevik Wars, to where they killed Nicholas Tsar and his family, they wanted to get rid of anything of old Tartary. Okay? But that is not the only odd Egyptian temple at the exposition. The Western Electric Company set up 3 displays, one of which was an Egyptian temple that had on the outside modernized figures and hieroglyphic inscriptions. Those are nothing but cult words to subjugate the people, for they see that and to put a spell on them, including the addition of electric lights with them, as if right away blending the ancient past and path in the modern world into one homogeneous whole. According to one of the 1893 guidebooks, outside, most uniquely with Egyptian figures and groups associated with electricity, for instance, there is a group of Egyptian maidens of the time of Ramses II operating a telephone board, and another group is of men of the same period laying telegraph lines. The conceit is very popular. They had actors pretending to be ancient Egyptians act as if they were working telephones and laying in telegraph lines. I get the sense there is actually a clue here underneath the obvious marketing tool, that this is a subtle claim to the great use of energy and electricity of the ancient past, and that the modern uses of electricity are not new inventions, but are direct descendants of that past. Exactly. Same with the putting of the electric lights with the modernized reliefs, a subtle clue to just how close the ancient past of 1893, which is 893, was. It is a reminder that one continues to look into these fairs. The more oddities, strangeness, clues, and symbols keep appearing. They are like a never-ending research experiment. Every time I hear people talk about hieroglyphs and this, that, and other, and I look at them and these Pan-Africans and all these other individuals, and I'm sitting there going, oh, the foolish are strong. If they only knew that these things were spells. Yes. They are spells. And yes, our ancestors used them as well. Stop attempting to make them to be some great speech of some narrative. They are spells. They are curses over the land. They are curses everywhere. just like the Emerald Tablets. Tell a story, but also convincingly, somebody narrates it. Heaven Bearers, The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood by Janine Helen. Of course, sure, in South Africa. Let's get greasy. Chapter 18. We're not going to read the whole chapter. Don't even think about it. Okay, this is not reading Beyond the Ice Wall. I'd be here for the next hour before we get to the chapter 19. Daphne, I can't believe it is you. She is jumping for joy and gives Bonnie the biggest hug that she has ever received. Mother told me stories about you, but they were just stories, you know. She touches her face and gives her cheek a little squeeze. This is her sister. This is Bonnie's sister, Daphne. Excuse me, the tea. She touches her face and gives her cheek a little squeeze. I just wanted to make sure you are real, she teases. How? She shakes her head in utter disbelief. How did you and Mother make it here? I thought you were dead, she replies, and crinkles her nose and frowns hard. Cassidy's voice gets soft, and she grabs her by the arm. Come with me, Daphne, quickly. She drags Bonnie by the arm and hurries down the back of the hill without looking back at her at once. They walk a good 15 minutes from where they were until she stops and huddles behind some rocks. Sleet starts falling and Bonnie looks up into the sky. The clouds are rolling in and we're getting a storm, she says out loud. But she isn't really asking Cassidy. Rather, she is talking to herself. Whew. Oh, apologies. Much more than that. We don't have long at all. We were desperately waiting for you, and now you are finally here. She looks around her suddenly and feels uncomfortable. I'm not sure what is going on. I'm not privy to many things, but I feel like I should warn you. I just don't know. What about? Just don't trust anyone, okay? She grabs Bonnie by the arm and squeezes hard. I am serious, Daphne. Okay, Cassidy, she replies sternly and lets her mind have a peek at her thoughts. She starts to smile and chuckle. Cassidy has done a lot of eavesdropping over the years. She comes across a memory of Cassiel and her mother. She is busy gathering some wood, and on her way back to the camp, she hears whispering. She puts the wood down quickly and takes a few steps closer, trying her best not to make a sound. To her surprise, it is her mother and Cassiel, and they are fighting about something. She will come, Cassiel, and she will be yours. The prophecy says so. You say this every year, he barks back at her, at Bonnie's mom. I am tired of waiting. If she isn't here soon, I will take another and make her my wife. I am Cassiel the Great, and I will lead my people back to their former glory, he says proudly. Bonnie realizes just how arrogant he is and knows that destiny wasn't destiny at all. It was a mere wish. Cassiel was never meant to rule the kingdom. He has no humility, and it would prove to be worthless to a people who chose not to be ruled. The sleet starts to turn to snow, and she can feel the small snowflakes land on her head and gently brush past her face. She looks up at the sky and loses the memory she was watching. She looks for it. She needs to know what happened, but suddenly can't find it among all the rest. She blinks hard and snaps back to reality, to Cassidy. Has anyone mentioned anything about me? Stuff I should know about myself? But don't, she asks and realizes Cassidy has been staring at her the entire time. She shakes her head as if confused by her and the question. Like, what exactly? She asks and wipes the snow from her hair. The day of the mud flood bothers me, Bonnie. She remembers her mom lying on the floor, fighting for her life, and she saw Azrael coming towards her, and then the mud flood happened. What really happened that day, she wonders. Do you know what happened the day of the mud flood? She asks Cassidy casually. No, not really. I just know the usual stories, you know. Bonnie shakes her head slowly. I'm not sure. Maybe tell me quickly. She prompts her gently, and Cassidy takes the bait. Okay. She leans in and gets all excited to tell the story. Bonnie can't tell that she has retold this story, or at the very least has heard it many times. She is curious what she will hear come out of her mouth. So father actually, fought off those wretched creatures as best he could, but there is this one creature. He is stronger than the rest and evil. They call him the angel of death, and he is hideous and mean, and he has this son who does his biting and murders Tartarians for fun. You see, he took Queen Ariella as his sex slave, and after she had that bastard killer, he killed her. She pulls a disgusted face, and then her eyes get sad. He killed father too. Mother had hidden me along with some other Tartarians fleeing the conflict. She was planning on meeting up with the group later that day when she was attacked by them. She bravely fought them off, but they snatched you from her arms, and she had to let you go. She places her hand onto Bonnie's cheek and gives her a kiss on the forehead. I am sorry, Daphne. Please don't be mad with Mother. Cassidy's explanation is all over the place, so it takes a moment for Bonnie to piece it all together properly. She knows a lot more than she realizes, and it surprises her. Oh, dear sister, I always knew I'd see you again. It is written so, and I just knew it to be true. She looks away and pretends to be distracted by something. No, please finish. Bonnie interrupts her and senses something that she doesn't like in her story. Her happiness quickly disappears, and Bonnie realizes it was all for show, to distract her by her playing the loving sister role. You won't understand, she snaps and starts to play with a few pieces of dried wood that she found on the floor and crushes it between her fingers. Try me, Cassidy. I married a Phoenician, the Basque king, and seem to possess powers. Tell me again what I won't understand. She's getting snappy and irritated by all the games and lack of honesty amongst these people. Cassidy isn't completely shocked by what she hears, but she does lean back from her slightly, as if she is toxic and she doesn't want to risk getting too close to her. I have this memory and I never told anyone about it, she replies quickly, and it is obvious now that she is visibly shaken by Bonnie's brutal honesty. Go on. I promise I will keep it to myself, she assures her and relaxes her expression. I have this memory of Mother and Father fighting one night, just before the mud flood happened. They were fighting about you. Father was furious and Mother was crying. She looks unsure of herself, as if perhaps she should stop talking now. I'm not Father's daughter. Bonnie guesses and waits for her response. Mother was saying that you... And she pauses. And wants to leave. Now, but no, she can't. You weren't fathers of hers, even though she gave birth to you? She made it sound like she merely carried you in her womb, but that she didn't know who your real parents were. I know it makes no sense. Bonnie's face cringes in response to what she is saying, and she shakes her head in confusion. What? How does that make any sense? What do you think about the story? What does your gut tell you, Cassidy? When you look at me, what do you see? Do you see some weird person, or do you see your baby sister? She asks loudly and tries to control the sudden shame and anger that is pulsing through her. Cassidy crinkles her nose, shrugs her shoulders awkwardly, and starts to chew her thumbnail nervously. Bonnie knows what she is thinking, and she takes a little peek into her head. Cassidy thinks she is something else, and she is scared of her. They sit and stare at the settlement. The wind slowly picks up its pace, and it causes the snow to blow in whirlwinds around them. She watches the snow fight the wind and struggle to find a spot to land on the ground, and she finds it relaxing and inspiring. Bonnie replays that memory of the fight between her parents in her head, and she stares blankly at the vast nothingness all around her. Where there is a will, there is a way. Even the snow manages to land despite knowing the wind is stronger. She blurts out, and Cassidy doesn't know what she would say in response to her statement. So let me read that again, excuse me. I fought a burp. Where there is a will, there is a way. Even the snow manages to land despite knowing the wind is stronger. She blurts out, and Cassidy doesn't know what she should say in response to her statement. She watches Bonnie and can see she is psychically present, but not mentally. And she just watches her wondering what or who she really is. I'm going to stop right there. Cliffhanger, because, oh my goodness. Well, this battle is going to be a, boy, let me tell you something. It should be a movie made of this. Ghost in the Shell, none of those would have anything over this. Listen to me. They should make a movie. If I had the team, some gaffers and booms operators, and we got Rondo and a few other people who are very, and man, I'd be out there getting the scenes, have the people who could dress the people, the makeup, the wig, and look, there's like hundreds of ghost towns here. There's nothing to get some lumber and put up certain structures and plaster and make things look ancient. You know what I'm saying? And the shovel over here in Arizona, and I'd make a movie banging. But that's not here or nor there. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. DJ, what's going on? What's going on, Akim? Snoo came in, baby girl. Yeah, Charles Johnson, what's going on, beloved? Mikey Cox, what's up, beloved? I didn't know if she came in because it's surprising. I know she's been busy. That's my baby girl, just waking up. Hey, love, what's up, baby? Anyway, I just wanted to shout out everybody. Make them went back and reading everybody's. I'll go back over all of them. Hey, it's good to have you here, beloved. My nephew just graduated film school. It's all happening, dude. I mean, to take something like that, and you have to chop it a little bit, change the narrative, get the people to actually know how to word things, to be able to articulate their face, to do the facial exercises, to be able to overexpress when they speak. It would be phenomenal. It would really be awesome. But I have a hell of time, freaking time just getting people to donate a few dollars for more books. Oh, anyway, I hope y'all appreciate it. It's nothing but love and respect. I'm gonna get off of here. I'll see y'all about 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. I'm gonna be coming on in the morning to talk about none of the craziness. Sometimes you can talk about it, but in order to live it, you've got to actually be about it. In order to be about it, you have to live it. You know what I'm saying? And it's phenomenal. I appreciate y'all. I'm thinking I'm gonna watch a couple of Rondo's old videos, and Westside has a couple I haven't seen. So have a look at that. I would talk about a video Westside shared. I'm not going to mention that here. It's a little too, oh, Chuck Berry. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so nothing but love and respect. I appreciate you guys. Hey, that's a whole lot of you. I do the shorts so we can get likes, so we can beat the algorithm. I'm not asking you to like anything. I'm asking you to like it, to support, so the page can, you know what I mean? We're getting rid of the idiots, and the little agents keep running away until I go live. Then they come back. Watch. I can go on there right now, and I guarantee you 2 of them pop right back in here so they can watch. The idiots. No name calling, but the idiots. People are dumb and people are stupid. There's nothing you can do about it. All right? Anyway, again, appreciate y'all. Sisters, beloved, brothers, you already know. See y'all tomorrow.